Well, it is time for a spooky vampire story. Not so much. It's pretty cool, and it's got that dude who's on your penny, so let's figure out how cool this is. So, as far as I'm concerned, this is the real story of our 16th president, and, you know, it's really, how do I say this, it's bitey, it wants to get at you, and, you know, before I get into the issues, because this was, it was kind of biting me in the wrong places, let me get the good stuff in here. So, visually, this movie is awesome. It looks so good. There's moments where I was like, wow, this is stunning. This looks like a moving painting, like, you know, like a really nice PS3 game or something like that. It's like, whoa, that looks so cool. So on a visual level, this is really awesome. Besides, the one thing I want to say, besides the makeup, the old makeup, and that usually doesn't look very good, it doesn't look very good in this either. But as far as costumes go, and the CG effects, they're very, very nice. And I will go as far and say, this movie is has the best use of CG blood. Anytime I've seen it in movies, it looks just really fake, and it's like, yep, that's CG blood. And this, it might have been even because of the 3D and because the blood is dark when it comes like kind of flying at you, it really looked like liquid. And hell, it might not have even been CG blood, but the blood, this is the best CG blood I've seen to date, if it is. I thought it looked really awesome, flying through the air. I was happy with that. And the action, you know, it was cool looking, and it was well shot. And it has some great set pieces, you know. There's, like, you know, a few set pieces in this movie, and, you know, some were not that great, and the one, by saying that they're not that great, it's the concept of Abraham Lincoln running around with the axe, you know, like, if it's done in a cool place and, like, in an interesting way, it was awesome, but, like, when it like gets to like the third or fourth action scene, you're like, alright, like this is the same thing that happened, but you're just in a different room, you know. So it felt repetitive at times, but it was always cool to look at, and that is important. The camera work is also very nice in this movie. There's some really cool sweeping shots, but what ends up hurting this movie in a technical way is one big technical aspect, and that's the editing to this. It's, you know, it's really, I don't know how to say this, it's really sad when you see a movie that looks good and, like, you see shots that when you cut it, it's like, what's happening? But in return of having this bad editing, it messes up the pacing of the movie, which is all over the place. Like, there are moments where I was like, okay, so he has a beard now. You guys, like, in the beginning were telling me the years, and now I have no idea what's going on. Like 5 minutes ago he had no beard. Oh, now he has a beard. And then there's a moment where they're like, yeah, he hasn't done it in forever. Spoiler alert, I guess, but I'm not spoiling anything. When he, you know, picks up the axe and drops it, I was like, how did you just become a fail all of a sudden? You're Abraham freaking Lincoln vampire hunter. How do you just drop an axe like that? And I'm not spoiling anything, it's just a dumb little bit that kind of, you know, threw me off. It's just, I didn't understand, the pacing really messed with me, and the editing at some points was cringe-inducingly bad. It's like, why'd you cut that like that? That could have been so cool if you would have just cut these shots in this order, and maybe had like a writing of like the year or something. Just, like, it would move really fast, and then like have like a really slow, like boring, bland scene between Abraham Lincoln and his wife Mary. But my biggest gripe with this flick is just, it's so bland. I don't care at all about these characters. Their only notable traits are how they look, which I feel like they change their looks every 2 seconds, and the way, and their name. That's it. Because you just don't care about these characters. There's nothing at stake. So this all just becomes a visual thing. It's you know, 2-hour commercial. This is like all visual. This is Transformers style entertainment. And, you know, the script is really, really, like, the editing was one thing, but it was passable because there were moments that were pretty cool. But the script, though, is so weak. And I paid attention to this, and every single quip, pun, fell so flat, it hurt. It was so painful. And the writing, at least for Abraham Lincoln's lines, are so bad. There's at least 3 times where he said, "A great man once said," "Who is this great man who keeps saying all this awesome shit? Is it you? Because you just keep saying a great man." He said it just too many times. This needed a good punch-up. And if it would have had that and actually would have been funny at times, this would actually be pretty damn good. Like, this could have been so great. You know, I liked it, and I want to recommend it to you, but there's so much that just, like, takes you out, and it's just like, this dialogue sucks, I don't care about anyone. Oh, cut off his head, that was awesome. Like, it all depends on what kind of person you are. If you can enjoy those visual flares in movies, then this is for you. But, like, catch this as a rental. This is a great rental, or on Netflix. But I will say that the 3D actually really impressed me. This was really nice to look at. They are getting that 3D down. This looks fantastic on the screen. Now, I may or may not have, you know, after I saw Brave, kind of been like, oh, it's 140. That Vampire Hunter started at 130. I'm gonna mosey on it. Yeah, so that's how I got to see this in 3D. But if you really want to see this, you know, I didn't walk out disappointed, really. You know, I wasn't expecting greatness, and I didn't get greatness. But I'm gonna give this like a 2.5 out of 5. This is a movie. This is run-of-the-mill. This is average. You should probably wait until DVD, Blu-ray for that, because on Blu-ray this will look fantastic, especially if you're crazy awesome and have one of those 3D players. This will look nuts. It'll look awesome. But you know, maybe check it out in theaters, up to you, but that was alright. Rent this. It's not terrible. Thanks for watching. Click that button right there. It's so cool. The coolest things happen when you press that. Right down there how much this sucked. And I'll catch you all on the flip side. Don't know what the next thing I'm reviewing is, but keep it on this page to find out. See y'all later.